Now in this exact video, I'm going to show you the exact roadmap that you can use to go from making $0 online to making $10,000 per month minimum as a remote high ticket closer. Now this is the exact strategy that I've personally used to go from making nothing online and working at a dead end remote corporate job as a computer programmer to making $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, $30,000 a month, $40,000 a month, all the way up to $50,000 a month. All the while traveling full time, living in multiple continents, multiple countries, meeting a network of amazing individuals, working from anywhere as long as I have a laptop, phone, and internet connection, and most importantly, having control of my own hours and flexibility of how I work. Now, first off, let's just describe for the newer comers here, what is remote high ticket closing? Well, I'm really gonna give you two pathways of what that is. I'm gonna give you the short, simple version, and I'm gonna give you my version of what that is. So in the short, simple, what it is businesses out there face various constraints as they scale. At first, the number one constraint any business faces is marketing, trying to dial in paid ads, organic content, whatever that may be to get consistent book calls. Now, as they move up the constraints ladder, the next constraint they inevitably run into is calendar availability. They simply just don't have enough time to take the amount of sales calls coming in, still do the marketing, do the customer service, do the operations, do the tech, and do everything that's required to run that business full time. So what happens is they get to a place where they now feel they have golden handcuffs, where they're making a lot of money, but they're also taking calls all day long on top of wearing all the other hats that require running a business. That's where you come in, where you can now come in, plug into their existing business, alleviate that constraint, and take the sales calls over for them, where they can then go off and have the freedom to scale the business in the other departments. Now, the benefit for you is you get to plug into an existing business that's already validated and figured out the offer and the product market fit, that's already figured out the marketing to drive sales calls, that's already figured out the client success to deliver results. And all you have to do is just take over one component, which is the sales. Now, typically the way that structures, you're taking around 5 calls a day, 3 minimum live shows, and then from that you're closing 1 deal, allowing you to make $500 to $2,000 per day just taking a few phone calls. Now, that's the short and simple answer of what remote closing is. Now, let me give you what my version of remote closing is. Now, to me, what remote high ticket sales is what I call the James Bond experience, which is the ability to pack up a laptop and a phone, go anywhere in the world, and have the skill set that allows you to generate money in the strongest currency possible without having to deal with complex systems, learning marketing, learning your own product and avatar creation, learning client success, or any of the headaches that come with actually running a business. What this does is immediately give you short-term relief while also simultaneously setting you up for long-term success. Short-term relief meaning that we can now travel anywhere in the world, have our complete remote freedom, have time freedom on how we schedule the calendar and how we want to take calls, what days we want to work. And then third and finally, be able to generate minimum $10,000 per month just from your laptop and your phone. Now, if you look at any famous entrepreneur out there you know that's built a successful empire in a business, they've all started out in some shape or form or capacity of sales and mastered that one skill set first. Now, the great thing about sales is the more time you invest into it, the more money you make. If you think about it like a direct correlation of a graph, with time invested being the horizontal and income being the vertical, you will see an exponential curve that the more time you invest into this, the more offers you take, the more sales calls you make. Your monthly commission income becomes higher and higher and higher and higher until you get to the point where you've now surpassed being a closer. You can take this skill set and this cash flow that you've generated and either go that into an existing business, go straight full-time into investing, or just take back and have a retired life if you've invested your money well. Now, in order to set yourself up inside this position to have the ability to do all of this, there's really 2 things we need to master. 1 is the skill set of sales itself, while 2 is the ability to find the right vehicle for you. Now, if you want to think about what it takes to become a high-ticket closer, I really want you to picture it as a car and a driver. Now, you'd be Earnhardt, best driver in the world. But if you were in a Honda Civic on the Daytona 500, I don't care how good of a driver you are, you're not going to win a single race. And vice versa. If you are a tailboard driver and you don't know how to drive shift, I don't care if I give you the best car on the Grand Prix, you're not going to win a single race or even probably get across the finish line. So 1, we need to become the best driver possible, which means becoming the best salesperson we can be. But then 2, we need to find the best vehicle possible, meaning the best opportunity, the best business, the best offer that we can plug into and use this skill set of sales to generate us cash flow. Now, here's what most people would do. Most people would start setting you off with giving you a bunch of books to read, how to win friends and influence people, the straight line of persuasion, pitch anything. But if I'm honest with you, I think that's all a load of crap. Now, the matter of the fact is I have actually been in high ticket sales for 7 years plus. I've made anywhere from 50,000 a month plus in commissions. I've scaled and trained and worked with the top sales teams on the planet, from Tai Lopez, Shetty, Grant Cardone, to many other names you probably already know. And I did all this without reading a single sales book in my entire life. Most sales books, in my opinion, are going to be outdated. They're not going to be relevant. Context is missing to the offer you're selling. And it helps you really feel good going through and reading it and thinking you're understanding and learning sales. But the moment you're on a sales call, you choke up and have no idea what to say. Or the moment a prospect throws an objection at you, like, I need to think about this, you have no idea which direction to even go. And for this reason, I've never read a single sales book, and I don't recommend it to any rep I've ever trained. Now, if you do want to read books and get better at sales, the best place to actually read is psychology books and learn human behavior. But that's really setting you up for long term. That's not going to be short term and immediate, and start getting you producing income on high ticket sales calls. So for now, we're just going to throw the books out the window. And really, the best place to learn, if you want to dive into it, is YouTube. There are tons of high ticket sales trainers, though I think some are better than others, and I'm obviously going to be biased in my own training. But there are tons of available information, from actual live sales calls you can watch, to live trainings, to even just breakdowns on how to handle specific objections. YouTube has it all. Now, there'll eventually be a time where you've watched enough YouTube videos that can only really get you to a specific level or skill amount. And what you'll need is more in-depth advanced training, but then two, a coach to actually walk you through, role play with you, do mock calls, look at your existing script and modify it, hear your sales calls and give you feedback on how to improve. And that's just something simply YouTube can't provide you. Now, if you do what I did, you can just pay for sales coaches up front and skip that line of YouTube learning and falling on your face and just have a coach tell you how to do it the right way up front. Or you could just learn YouTube at first, get an offer, get some income going, and then hire a coach. Now, something I want to be very clear on is you're going to sound extremely awkward when you're first starting off in sales. In fact, I started out with zero communication skills whatsoever. I was a computer programmer, so I literally sat in a dark room coding all day, and the extent of my communication was an email or walking over to a different cubicle to talk to a different programmer. And you can clearly see by this video that that did not help me in any shape or form be good at sales.
Hello there, Portland City Boxing. Bert speaking. How can I help you?
Hello, my name's Temple. I'm trying to get in touch with the owner of the gym, please.
Help you with? Or?
No, I run an amazing social media marketing advertising service, and I'm sure you get dozens of phone calls like this a week. Yeah, that's why I kind of wanted to call him and give him our amazing offer and service.
Yeah, pretty cringy, I know. I couldn't sit through that. I had to skip through it myself during the editing process. So all I want to do is just show you that you can start off sounding cringy as hell, fall flat on your face, but as long as you just keep dialing and keep picking up that phone and keep hopping on that next call, before you know it, you'll be closing $10,000, $15,000, $24,000 deals and walking away with $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 per sale like I do. So just to recap, skip the books, go to YouTube. 2, hire a sales coach once you get to the point that YouTube is not allowing you to level up your skill set anymore, or just skip the line and hire a coach right off the bat. And 3, repetition. Repetition, repetition, repetition. It doesn't matter how many videos you watch, how many training videos you watch, how many coaching calls you have, unless you're taking call after call and implementing it, falling in your face and improving 1% each time, you will not get to the ability where you're making $10,000 a month. Now let's talk about the second thing we need to do well and make $10,000 per month in high ticket sales, and that's finding the right vehicle, AKA to find the right opportunity to sell for. Now I'm just gonna tell you something that most sales coaches won't tell you, and that's if you don't have any prior sales experience or track record of selling amounts in a different career field, whether that's B2B, solar, real estate, you're probably not going to get a sales gig up front making $10,000 plus per month in income. Now bear with me, I don't want to be the bearer of broken hearts. I have a pathway for you to get there, but I just want to be frank with you. So many of these high ticket sales coaches out here will tell you that you can just get on offer, make $10,000 per month versus on your first ever sales role. But I can tell you as a guy who's placed over 1,000 sales reps for my clients and my sales teams that I work with, and that's that we've never even hired anybody that hasn't had at least 6 months in a high ticket sales role before in the past as a closer. And that's for offers from $3,000 to $5,000 for high ticket fitness coaching, all the way to high ticket B2B $80,000 masterminds that we sell. Now, knowing that, you can either do one of two things. One, you can just quit and give up and say, oh, well, if I can't make $10,000 a month off the first go, this isn't for me. And so be it. I wish you the best opportunity possible, but you're probably not going to find that. Or two, you can ask yourself, okay, well, there are people that are actually making this in high ticket sales roles. What pathways or steps do they take to get there? And honestly, the easiest way to get there is to start off as a setter before you become a closer. Now, real quick, what a setter is, it's pretty simple. You probably already know. But every business that's generating sales calls is also generating more leads that are not booking sales calls. Your job is simply just to go in, outbound dial those leads that came in through the ads or the webinar that did not book a call, and get them to book a call with the closer. The on-track earnings for this are typically a $2,500 to $3,000 base, and then anywhere between $200 to $300 for every set that closes, setting you up for an on-track earnings of anywhere between $5,000 to $8,000 per month. Now, if I were to start all over and become a high-ticket closer, what I would do, knowing that the field is becoming more competitive, that there are more options out there for people that have already been doing high-ticket closing and have that experience to show for, is to first become a setter. And really what I can tell you, get in a role, build your resume up, start making immediate income online, and then have reps and dials over and over again to practice your skill set and exponentially increase your game in sales tenfold than any other closer could do. Now, once you've been doing this for about 6 to 12 months, making $5,000 to $8,000 per month, from that standpoint, what you can do is either one, ask the existing owner that you're selling for to promote you to a closer, which is more than likely if you've been hitting KPIs and doing your job, or two, take that resume and experience and now go to a closing remote opportunity. Now, the opportunity that you look for is very important. Think of it like a fishing pole, right? If you don't have the top of the line $5,000 fishing pole, you're not going to go out there and catch big game. You're just not. Your fishing pole is going to break. It's not heavy duty enough. It's not supported to bring on the weight of those fish. So the quality of the fishing pole that you have is directly related to the fish you can catch. Being in sales is the same exact way. If you have a setting track record now of 6 to 12 months of setting and bringing business for an offer, you're not going to go off and get a closing role making $20,000 per month. That's for closers that have already been in the industry for a few years, already been selling, already have a track record, and now they're upgrading to that next level. What you're going to find is a high ticket role that is making $10,000 to $12,000 a month. That's typically B2C, ROI or non-ROI, anywhere between $3,000 to $6,000. Now, what you want to do then is get a role like that, stay on there for another 6 to 12 months, build that resume and track record, and that's where you can then hop to another offer that pays $15,000 to $20,000 a month, then another offer that pays $20,000 to $30,000 a month, and that's how you grow your income over time. So going back to that graph, right, with the more time invested into it on the horizontal, the more you spend that time taking reps, taking calls, improving, the higher income goes. I got a little off track there, so let's talk about how to actually get that setting role so you can actually break into this industry once and for all. Now, you basically have 3 ways you can go out and find this opportunity in this vehicle. One is that you can actually be in a sales mastermind, such as myself, or there's many others, that will actually place you with their clients or place you into a recruiting pipeline of some kind. 2 is that you can go out to an existing job board of some kind, and whether that be Indeed, Glassdoor, or even Upwork, and start applying for jobs. Or 3, what you can do is put matters into your own hands, not wait for job boards, not wait for someone to place you in a pipeline, but go out and get that role yourself. And if you're starting off brand new, you should be doing a combination of all 3 of these, but heavily relying on the number 3rd option. Because I want you to think about it like this. Let's say you want to go out and find a girlfriend. If you go out, go on Tinder or Bumble, swipe on every woman that's attractive to you, have 3 dates a week, at some point, you're going to find a girl that becomes your girlfriend. It's inevitable. That's just the numbers game. Same thing in sales if you're cold calling, right? If you cold call enough people, eventually you're going to find someone that's interested, and eventually someone is going to buy and move forward. So why wouldn't we just take that same methodology and apply that to getting and landing a high ticket sales role? So that's exactly what you're going to want to do. Now, what I can tell you is the number 1 people that you're going to want to sell for upfront are for business owners that have a massive audience, whether that be on YouTube or Instagram, and reach out directly to them. The reason I say this is that warm leads that are coming from an organic audience are typically way easier to set and close for, allowing you to break into this industry and increase your income exponentially. As you get good and your network arises, that's when you can start landing on other roles that are generating leads through paid ads, which are a bit colder, but typically have a higher scale and higher volume and higher margin they pay out on. So if I was you, I would go out and find an influencer that is in an industry that you are excited about, whether that be mindset, whether that be fitness, whether that be business opportunity, like starting a social media marketing agency. The point being is you want to go out there and find someone that has at least 100,000 followers on Instagram or YouTube or different platforms such as X. 2, already promotes and offers a high ticket offer. Now, the way you'll typically find this is they'll have an opt-in in their bio or a link in their YouTube videos that leads to a VSL. VSL is a video sales letter. It's 5 to 15 minutes and it sells an offer, has them fill an application, books a call. Now, the reason I say this is most coaches out there won't just say, yes, I have a high ticket offer and it costs $5,000 because they want to save that for the sales call. But the way you can tell if they have a high ticket offer is if they're leading you to a landing page or a video sales letter page that has the option to book a call. Now, once you find someone that meets this criteria, I want you to 1, find their email on YouTube on the About page, 2, DM them on Instagram, and then 3, find them on Facebook and DM them there. So we're gonna hit all 3 contact points. And the message that I want you to send, hey name, I've been following your content for a while and it's personally helped me, and then insert the benefit you've received. I'd love to be on your sales team as a breathing case study. But I know you get hundreds of DMs like this, so here's how I'll prove I deserve the shot. 1, send me the list of leads who showed interest but didn't book a call. 2, I'll follow up, contact, and handle objections and close sales for free. 3, if I bring you real revenue at no cost, you give me a shot on your real sales team. 0 risk, all upside. Does that interest you? Cheers. Your name. Now, if you send out 50, 75, 100 of these messages, emails, and Facebook messages, I guarantee that you land at least 1 shot where you can do this. And to be frank with you, if it takes upwards of 50, I'd even be surprised. But I want you to go in expecting the hardest difficulty, expecting the worst, and then be surprised by the upside of how much easier than you thought it was. Now, if you even say to me, well, I don't want to work for free, or I don't want to outbound out for free, if you can't go out and close a couple deals for free to prove yourself when you have 0 track record, 0 resume, or 0 experience, you don't deserve a role making $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month. I'm just gonna say point frankly. When I started off, I had to create a social media marketing agency, create a product, learn how to do client success, and then go out and cold call people having 0 track record, 0 proof, and convince them to pay $2,000, $3,000 a month retainer for myself. Now, I don't care what you say. There's nothing that you're doing here in this example where you're reaching out to an existing influencer who already has a brand, who already has social proof, who already has case studies, and selling out to an existing list that's opting into him and asking for more information on the product. There's no way where that reality is more difficult than what I had to do. So if I could do what I had to do, you can do this, close a couple deals for free, and then get your foot finally in the door. Because here's ultimately the best part of what I want to tell you here. Landing the first job is the hardest part. Once you go out and land this, every job opportunity you get after becomes easier, you make more money, and you sell a better product. Which brings me to my final point of becoming a high ticket closer, and that's developing your own personal network. At the end of the day, I don't do remote high ticket sales, just taking sales calls. I train sales teams now just because I've been the ability to do that, and I've been doing this for so long, and I've sold everything from 7K fitness coaching to 80K B2B masterminds. But if I even did want to go out and land a sales role, I could snap my fingers like this and I'd immediately be selling for all the top names in the industry, making minimum $30,000 a month. And the reason I can do this is when the biggest names think of high ticket closing, I come to mind. And this was all done simply by posting and creating content on high ticket sales of things I was learning. I actually did this originally on Facebook, as you can see, and I created these post after post on Facebook. And what that allowed me to do is people started reaching out to me, big names started to talk to me and message me, and then they connected me to other big names, and everything spiraled from there from a network effect. For example, from this post alone, I had Eli Wild somehow find this post, being the #1 sales rep over at Tony Robbins back in the day. And now an amazing sales trainer, one of the most connected people I possibly know, reach out to me, ask me what I do and how I learned it, and then provide me a multitude of opportunities off the bat. One of them ended up actually being Cole Gordon, who I sold for and made upwards of $50,000 a month in commissions for. And now that I've sold for Cole, anyone would hire me in a second because I have that name on my resume. So you can see at the first part of it, that's the hardest part, landing your first job. Once you land that and you start learning, I want you to start posting content. I want you to start posting videos. It doesn't need to be Facebook like I did, and that's pretty outdated. Now I'd probably do IG Reels and YouTube videos. But as you start to do those, people will find your content, and all it takes is one name to sell for, just one big name. And then from there, the floodgates open and everyone in the industry that has a name wants to hire you. So that's essentially it. If we want to break into this industry, there's really 2 things we need to master. We need to become the best driver possible, meaning we become the best sales skilled person we possibly can be. And then 2, we find the best vehicle possible, meaning we find the best opportunity to sell for. And just some recap on what the opportunity should be. It should be someone with already a massive following, that already has case studies, that has an offer that's at least $3,000, is already generating minimum 3 live calls calls a day, and their existing team or himself is already closing at minimum 20%. And then once you land the opportunity, you just need to work your ass off, watch a lot of training, hire sales coaches to vastly improve, and you will just see your income go higher and higher and higher every few months until the point you can realize that either one, you can cash out and call it a day, or two, you can now take this newfound sales skill and apply it to starting your own business, becoming a sales manager, becoming a growth consultant in some shape or form, and 2, 3, 4, 5xing your income even further from there. So I hope this helps. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Go out and start closing.